Hey,
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. The Wrassle Twins are here. I got
Yeet.
the most handsome man on the internet, Big
Yo,
Daddy
what's
Joe.
going on?
And you
Good to
got
see you
me.
today.
Yes, sir. Rocking the Don Kernodle, a forgotten legend.
I was just about to say that. Don Carnotto, man.
Good friend
Super,
of mine.
super legacy. Yeah, yeah.
Good friend of mine. I miss him to this day. He was a good friend of mine for 10 years before he passed away. So,
Oh,
Joe, let's start this off. We like our questions here.
yep.
Good way to start the show. Good little brain teaser. I got a question, sir.
hmm
It's twofold. Who do you think is the greatest heel of all time? And who do you think right now is the greatest heel in pro wrestling
The greatest heel of all time has to be Hulk Hogan because not only is he a heel
in real
in
life?
wrestling, but he's a heel in real life. My boy is he is a heel everywhere he go, everywhere he lie, cheat, steal, and be racist. He's such a heel. But no, but going back to the WCW days when he actually did join the NWO and WCW changed, wrestling changed
Yeah, I was going to
on
say it
that
changed
day. It
everything.
everything. It had ripple effects from WCW all the way to WWF at the time, and it changed up with ECW. Like all wrestling at that point, fandom changed, and I was just like, that moment made him the greatest heel of all time. I know
I
that
can,
we've had heels that were much more ruthless than him. We've had heels that may have done it better than him, but he had the greatest effect, which is the reason why I say he's the best heel of all time. And right now, even though people are behind him,
how, I don't know.
the best heel, I'm not even going to say John Cena because he hasn't changed. And you know who I'm talking about? Dirty Dom. He is the best heel. He is so heelish that people are now accepting him. It's like, yo, we
Like, we
want
know,
to win.
it's like one of
Bro,
those things your best friend's a douchebag, but you
yeah,
still love him because they're your best
yeah.
friend. Not my best friend. My best friend's a sweetheart. But in general,
yeah.
uh, I think the GOAT heel of all time is Terry Funk. May God rest his soul. And
hmm
here's why. Uh, Bullet Bob Armstrong is the father of the Road Dogg and so many other great Armstrong wrestlers in that lineage. Terry Funk got on the microphone and I believe Smoky Mountain Wrestling when Road Dogg was just a kid. And he said, I want you to know, Bullet Bob, I'm not going to try my Terry Funk impression, but he said, your mother's a whore, your wife's a whore, and all your kids are bastards. And excuse me for the language, we don't usually say words like that, but it's the Terry Funk delivery. He didn't shout, he didn't holler. It was that same almost mumble speak, but everything Terry Funk said, you believed.
And he stood 10 toes down.
10 toes down. And he was visceral. When he was a heel, there was no one better because he was just so visceral about it. His words, his actions in the ring. It wasn't like we see, like we just talked about with John Cena, where everything's kind of the same. He's just more low blows.
Yeah,
Everything Terry Funk did as a heel was just nasty. So
yeah. And I thought about Terry Funk because he would have been a strong number two for me. Uh just the effect of Hulk Hogan going
oh yeah,
heel. That changed my mind.
it sent ripples throughout the whole everything.
hmm
Nothing was ever the same. Even to this day, I don't think pro wrestling would be where it's at right now if Hulk Hogan hadn't turned his back on the fans.
Yep.
We were tired of it was the 90s. It was the era of grunge and Kurt Cobain and death metal. We were tired of the same old eat your vitamins, say your prayers. Great sentiments, but not what I want to
hmm
hear from a pro wrestler. So when he turned his back on us, that just kind of set in stone what was to come.
Yeah. And I love Dirty Don, man, just with a passion. I mean, the way that he is basically just like his Uncle Eddie, man.
Maybe Poppy.
Yeah. So who's your current?
Okay, well you took mine. So I'm gonna walk it back, and I'm gonna go
All right.
back to the old favorite MJF.
It's all right for us to agree.
I gotta say MJF too though, because here's the thing, MJF, the minute he started showing those babyface tendencies, it's he stabbed in the back. So he's the villain again. I love MJF, I
Okay.
do. And I think it's just on the microphone, he's visceral. Sometimes I think to a fault. Like sometimes it's a little too much, but in the long run, like everything in the ring is like, oh, you don't like me because I talk too much. I'm gonna make it worse. But then we had last night. Something beautiful happened, sir. Somebody got invited to the cookout, Joe, and it was my buddy MJF in the Hurt Syndicate of all things,
Yeah.
which I dig it. He's like the Owen Hart in the Nation of Domination.
Yep. He's the Sami Zayn of the bloodline.
Sami Zayn of the Bloodline. But I like it. Um, this group is becoming to me the best part of AEW right now. Um,
Absolutely.
I will 10 toes down. Bobby Lashley is the world champion. I don't care how old he is. I'm still kind of on the give Jeff Jarrett the belt for a couple months before he retires gig.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to see Bobby Lashley just rip. Like say by some miracle, this is not what's going to happen, but this is fantasy booking. Jeff Jarrett somehow wins the belt from Moxley, and then 2 months later, Bobby Lashley just rips him in half.
Yeah.
It just sends him on his way. But the
Bobby.
but the hug, Joe, the hug is what got me, bro.
Don't listen. I will never wrap my legs around you with a hug, sir.
Please don't,
I want
sir.
you to know.
But it made it even better because okay, I played football, I played sports, and
Good job.
there was a lot of places I was the only white guy there. And we are for some reason the goofiest part of every sports team every time. He just jumps up and just wraps everything around Bobby, and I'm just like, that is love right there.
Bobby. Man,
And
he was with it.
MVP, I liked him as a wrestler,
Mm-hmm.
but I love him as a manager.
Yeah, me too. Me too. He's on he doesn't have to do much.
No,
Yeah.
it's just it's hard to find somebody that can tell an entire story with their face.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman does it very well.
And honestly, I was about to put Paul Heyman as my favorite heel of
I
this
was too.
spring.
I was
Yeah.
this close, but I'm like, maybe a wrestler though. Maybe it has to be a wrestler when we have this
Yeah.
conversation. We can talk about managers eventually, and I'll
That's what I was thinking
spoiler
about
alert.
too.
Spoiler alert, Paul Heyman's the best manager of all time.
But as you can
But
see, we on the same wavelength.
oh yeah. MVP just has that. He's got a heel's face. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
The snarl, the everything about it is just chef's kiss, perfection.
Yeah. I definitely have a baby face myself, but that's why if I were a wrestler, my name would probably be vice versa. Because I smile at you, I'll kick you in your nuts.
I just want to be that. Like we all have our ideas of what our wrestling character would be if we had ever made it. For me,
Mhm.
it was don't judge me, okay? I was coming down to some like tough heavy metal, no lyrics, walking to the ring, sit there in the middle of the ring in a chair, just waiting for the guy to come in. As soon as he walks to the ropes, just beat the snot out of him, pin him, and leave. That was it. That was going to be my whole gimmick. That was going to take me to the WWF Hall of Fame, man.
Yeah.
WWE, I'm sorry.
I'd be obviously somebody, blowing kisses at everybody, but at the same time sneaking the chair from underneath
Oh,
the
absolutely.
ring apron.
Everybody loves the lovable bad guy though. Like
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero, like we heap his praise. He was the lovable bad guy.
Yeah, he
He
was.
told you, he was up front. I'm going to lie. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to steal. He did all of those things,
Yeah,
but he did them well.
he did. And we love him for it. R.I.P. Eddie, man.
Yes,
Uncle
sir.
Eddie.
Oh, so many great memories.
Yeah. Once again, somebody who was good at everything.
It's very hard to find somebody like Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Uh, had his demons, but he was able to come back and then go to the top.
Hmm.
But this past weekend, Joe,
Yes, sir.
something magical happened.
Something magical happened.
And it was a little pay-per-view or premium lime event. I'm sorry, it's 2025 now, called Backlash. And the internet is telling me this was a mid show. But
I don't know why
I
the internet
happened to
is like,
watch the show, and
yeah, real
there
time.
was there was not a thing on that show that was mid.
I enjoyed every match.
Every
Even
single
even
one.
Gunther and Pat McAfee. Like,
Dude, it was a fun show.
yeah,
I wasn't expecting 5-star classics, but I was expecting to be entertained, and I was.
yeah.
But the first match on that card set the pace for the whole night.
The fact that that was the first match too.
It had to be. I think it could have been the main event, but they're
Yeah.
not going to main event over John Cena and Randy Orton.
No, no, no. I
So
was
I'd
thinking
rather
it was
open
gonna
if I
be
can't close.
true, true.
And they opened and they set the crowd was hyped the whole night after that match.
Yep.
But we saw Jacob Fatu defend his unis. Words are hard. This is for the
United
bloopers.
States champion.
United States Championship
Yeah.
against La Knight,
La
against Damian Priest, and
and
against
Drew.
Big Daddy Drew.
Yeah.
And it did not take long for Drew and Damian to just decide they just want to keep hating each other after
Yeah.
WrestleMania and beat the tar out of each other.
But the fact that he kept up the same thing, Damian Priest yet again stifling Drew McIntyre from winning a belt.
But also stifling himself
Also stifling himself. Yep.
because you said it in the group text, and
Yeah.
rightfully so. Why are you going to take himself out like that? Why?
Why did he jump too?
Because it's not a South of Heaven. Like if you want to see a traditional choke slam, you watch The Big Show and Kane and The Undertaker. Okay, you watch
Yeah.
Damian Priest for the South of Heaven. Darn it, that is why we like Damian Priest. But the finish is what's got me like excited. If you
Yeah.
follow my TikTok, you may have saw a little video of me getting way too excited over this.
A little Jeff on the cob.
Jeff on the Cobb shows up to help Jacob Fatu, and
Yep.
I kind of like where they're going with this because Jacob looked like he was like, "Fam, I didn't sign up for that."
Right.
But this is the hot take I was telling you about before we recorded. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bloodline is the new nation to
Oh,
to an extent. The only difference, like Jeff Cobb, I don't think is Samoan, but he is Polynesian. He's of
yeah, he's
Polynesian
Hawaiian. He's from
heritage.
Hawaii. Right.
So yes, all these guys are Polynesian heritage. They're all, kind of militant, like the original nation mindset was. They're very militant in the way, like Solo said, I'm running out of soldiers.
Yeah.
Bring in Jeff Cobb. And now do I think they're going I think they have their niche set out in wrestling history. The bloodline will forever be a great thing. And I'm not going to say they are at the level of the nation was as far as what it meant to wrestling as a whole. Like
Mm-hmm.
far as storyline of stuff, the bloodlines surpassed it for longevity alone.
Yeah.
But I think the relevance of the nation was a little bit more important, if that makes sense. But I think I can see it in my head. This probably sounds wacky, but I could see those guys being kind of like that militant faction of Polynesian guys that are just trying to take over.
I need the nation to show up though, for real. But
I do too.
I
I'm not.
am I am interested though in seeing Jeff Cobb in the WWE because how visceral and violent he was in Japan.
He's
Um,
scary.
yeah, yeah,
And that's
And I'm
something.
wondering what they'll allow, right?
Yeah, and I'm wondering how far they'll take it because this guy, he's more muscular, but he's got a similar build to Otis, right? He's not the tallest
Yeah.
guy, but he's a hoss.
Yeah.
But you can already tell he's going to be taken much more seriously. And you heard
Hmm.
last week we got nothing but love for Mr. Otis. But I'm just excited to see where this goes. I don't think Jacob Fatu is long for Bloodline 2.0. I think once the Tongans come back, he's going to go his own path and be that lone Samoan werewolf that he was meant to be.
Yeah.
And maybe
A wolf pack of one.
maybe dethrone John Cena. I'd like to see it. Somebody in this conversation is going to get to see Mr. Fatu live as we
Yeah.
record tomorrow night. And I'm jelly. I'm peanut butter and jelly, but it's okay. He's going to send me all the little clips and it's going to go up on the TikTok and you guys are going to enjoy it. You're going to hit subscribe. And
You're gonna like, you're gonna share, you're gonna subscribe.
absolutely. But yeah, so I thought that was a great opening match to kick off the show. You kicked it off strong. Match number 2
Yeah.
was Becky and Lyra Valkyria.
Lyra Valkyria. The man versus the woman.
The man versus the child woman. For WWE standards, she's young,
Yeah, yeah.
This match hit.
It hit.
And
it hit hard.
we had it. I didn't want Becky Lynch to win. I thought if she
Lyra
won,
knows.
yeah. I feel like if Becky had won, it would have just like put Lyra like, who cares about Lyra Valkyria now if she
Yeah.
would have won. But Lyra winning and the way she won
Mhm.
was a little surprise roll uppy.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Sometimes you get the quick loss, and Becky still looked strong. Lyra looked like, hey, this girl's going somewhere. She beat the man.
Yep.
Since 2019, there's been no woman in the women's division that could surpass what Becky Lynch has done, except maybe Rhea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me, I was covering up the mic because anyway. But Rhea's probably been the only one that could get close to what Becky's done, and maybe Bianca Belair a couple years ago. So I think Lyra Valkyria is on the way up. This we saw on Raw. This is not over. This feud's still going strong.
Yeah, I would have to throw Io Sky in there because obviously I always got to throw Io in there.
Recently, she's gotten so over.
Yeah.
I want to do this every time I walk in somewhere right now.
Walk into the meeting.
Yeah, walk into the production meeting just like, whoa. But yeah, good win for Live Valkyria. I forgot to give my rating for match one. For match one out of 5 stars, I'll give it 4. I think it was a solid opener. This match, I'll give it a solid 3.5. I think is fair. It wasn't as impactful to me, but it was a great match. It was a fun match to watch.
Yeah.
What say you?
I would give the original match actually like a 3.5. The fatal 4-way, because a lot of it was them fighting individually. I like to see fatal 4-ways when they're all in the ring fighting each other. At least 3 are in the ring. But it was like certain people, they would just take breaks or go off and have their own little battle on the side. And that's cool. But to me, it was more average because of that.
There wasn't a lot of diversity in matchups.
Yeah.
Like we didn't see really LA Knight and Drew McIntyre like actually go. We saw a few little brief moments of it, but not really anything prolonged. I can respect that.
Yeah.
What say you about Lyra and Becky?
Definitely a 3.5 on that end as well. That was a really, really good match. The surprise roll up was great. And also the fact that Becky Lynch just was not having it. And then
no, she was cranky.
Yeah.
I don't know why she was so cranky about it, Joe. You lost. You lost. It's okay.
Fair and square.
So, which led us in to Penta versus Joe's favorite heel right now, Dirty Dom.
Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
For the men's Intercontinental Championship. And this one didn't disappoint either.
No.
First off, Penta is just pure aura, is he not? Yeah. Like that walk to the ring is spicy, it's saucy. Like I love it. Cero.
Mierda.
We're working on it, Penta, I promise. But it was fun. And then of course, that guy in the mask had to show up. And then we're not talking about Penta. And he has a bee in his bonnet over Penta, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I guess him and Chad Gable are actually really friends. I don't know.
Yeah, but you never see them together. So
no. Well, they might just be like those kind of friends, like they can talk and text, but they don't get to hang out much. one of those
Yeah,
things.
I get it. It's
Mark
like
Henry's doing great things under the hood.
absolutely. It's like, what are you doing in August? I'm busy that day. Let's check out September. All right.
Yeah, it's one of those.
It's one of those friendships.
El Grande Americano shows up with that hard head, and
Yeah,
Dominic
man.
retains the way Dominic was supposed to retain. By
Right.
hook or by crook, a win is a win. I've got a friend, she was so upset. She was texting me about this match. She hates Dominic Mysterio ever since the SummerSlam debacle.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, my boy is the most improved wrestler of the past 5 years.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
Right.
So I mean, solid three, great match. Penta's on the way, man. A lot of people are upset that Penta keeps losing these big matches, but
Hmm.
Penta's not losing anything. I don't think, far as character, they do have to give him a big win soon.
Yeah.
It's got to happen, or it's just going to be another like, I hate to say it, but like Kalisto or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think here Penta's going to be fine for now. He's too good not to be.
Yeah. And nobody's really like thinking that they can bully Penta by themselves because
No,
if you notice, he's always getting jumped.
he's every loss so far, just the handful that's been has been because of chicanery of some sort,
Yep.
shenanigans, if you will.
Also, one thing I can't stand with the announcers is they keep talking about Dirty Dom stealing moves from his dad. And I'm like, no, he inherited them because
Yeah, that's what you do.
it's not theft when it's your dad. Like,
Yeah, it's your dad. Come on now.
yeah, he may
And
not be the best dad, but he at least got something from him.
yeah, he got that 619. It's
Yeah,
not as crisp, but it's pretty crisp. It's
pretty
pretty
crisp.
crispy.
Yeah.
So I'll take it. And I just love
Plus
the
he's
whole,
much taller too.
yeah,
So
the mustache and everything. He just looks like a sleazeball. And he legitimately, in the way he acts and the way he looks, he is like that 80s or early 90s sleazeball heel.
yeah,
I can see it, and I'm just like, I'm
mullet.
loving this. This kid is young, but he's just got like, he's got it. He
Yeah,
couldn't get rid of it if you tried to scrub it with a brush.
for real. He's got
I
the
can't define what it is, but it is all over him.
yeah.
Dirty Dom's going to hold up a world title one day, and we're just going to be like, he deserves it.
Hmm.
He deserved the big thing at WrestleMania. He's worked harder than anybody else. On screen character aside, like you can tell, he's in this business. Even on interviews, he doesn't drop kayfabe.
Hmm.
He will still poop all over Ray Ray's parade every chance he gets. So, and every single one of his big match interests, he's always paying tribute to some historic luchador. WrestleMania, it was Rey Mysterio Senior, the
Yeah.
uncle of Rey Mysterio that we watch now, and all this great tributes he does. Dom, here's some flowers. These are for you, sir. Here's your flowers. Those were also a Mother's Day present to my wife from the church, but
You just re-gifting. See, that's a heel thing to do.
it's just what we do. They're sitting here on the desk. They're just sitting here being all pretty. Dom deserves flowers.
Yeah, he does. He does. So
I'm
what's your score for that?
solid three. Solid
Solid
three.
three.
I
Yeah, I
think
agree. Solid three.
I think they could have done a 4.5. But I think with this ongoing story, I can't let El Grande Americano's story die. So you got to do something to keep it going. Don't want
Yeah.
it to be forgotten about. It's too impactful. I know a lot of people seem to have a problem with the El Grande Americano character, accusing it of certain things. But to me, I'm just like, it's kind of what it's supposed to be. He's not supposed to be
Yeah.
a good guy.
It's
It's,
classic. It's classic wrestling.
yeah.
It's classic. Like you have is they've had the like bad guy Iran person, the bad Russian,
Yeah.
like that's always happened in wrestling, and it's always over the top. Stop being sensitive. If you can't
Yeah.
handle it, go. But you're gonna go and watch drama on TV instead, like
The whole point of wrestling is the good guy versus bad guy. The good ultimately beats the evil, right?
yeah,
That's the whole arc of it. And sometimes it's going to be offensive if you look at it in the wrong light, because it's
mhm,
one of those things to where it's offensive, but at the end of the day, the good guy's going to win. The
yep,
only time that didn't really happen in the past 30 years in my head, there's probably been more, way more than I can just think about right now, is Triple H over Booker T at WrestleMania 19. That was wrong. That one was a little messed up because you don't sit there and say people like you don't get to be world champion and then not drop the belt at WrestleMania to a guy that really deserved it, who's legitimately just now getting appreciated for how great of a wrestler he was.
Right.
So
Probably
that I can understand you having a problem with. This it's just silliness. It's just heels for the sake of heels. There's going to be the big reveal whenever it happens, and it's going to be hilarious, and we're going to have fun watching it.
Yep.
Those are my thoughts anyway. So
fourth, I agree. 3.
I did not get my prediction, but I still have fun watching it. Pat versus Gunther was a car crash in the best possible way. However, Pat got a lot more in than I thought he would. But I think it was worked out because it wasn't like Pat overpowered Gunther at any point of the match. It was Gunther made one of his rare mistakes and McAfee just took advantage.
Yeah. Well, it's because Gunther didn't take Pat seriously.
No. And that was the whole story.
Yeah. But I'm going to tell you, when Pat went over that top rope and tripped and fell on his face, I died laughing because that would have been me. Like,
dude, I wouldn't even made it over the top rope. Like, I would have just, I would have gotten like
hung upside down.
I got no hops whatsoever. So I would have just been like tied up in the ropes, just like meat for Gunther to just chop all day long. If we ever meet Gunther, I would gladly take a Gunther chop for this channel, just so you know.
You got it, bro. I won't.
I mean, it's going to collapse my lungs.
Right. You're going to break a rib.
But I will do it for the Wrassle Twins.
You got it. You got it.
Things that'll never happen for 500, Alex.
Right.
So, you can't really give this match a high star rating, but it wasn't for the match quality. You watched it for the story. Michael Cole got involved like we knew he would. He had to. But it was like every step of the way, you just realize Gunther is the man. He is that guy. And he's just visceral, mean. Pat's chest looked like chopped liver after the match.
Yeah. His eye basically like had a blood vessel pop in it. Yeah.
So Gunther's a throwback. He really is.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that like you could put in any era of wrestling and it's going to work. And just that big menacing powerhouse that's going to rip you to shreds, and the only way to win is just to catch him off guard. He's only lost like 5 matches in his career. That's impressive. And
he's been a champ the majority of his career in the WWE.
He's got a win-loss his winning percentage is 95%. Now, I know this is storyline or whatever, but this is WWE. They don't do that, especially with foreign heels. They never do that. Goldberg, for all, say what you want to about Goldberg. Goldberg didn't lose in WCW, except for maybe twice. So WWE never does this, but they're doing it with Gunther, and I think it's what's making him so special. And the guys that tend to beat him are smaller, gutsy guys. The Sami Zayns, your Ilya Dragunovs, your Jey Usos. Cody Rhodes beat him at a house. I mean, CM Punk beat him at a house show. Cody Rhodes beat him by circumstance. And I love the finishers. He's using the sleeper and the power bomb. Nothing flashy, nothing crazy, just old school ground and pound and grind them finishers.
The way Pat put Gunther in that sleeper hold. Yeah. I was proud of him. I was proud of him,
but he also knew, like, no, sir, it's not going to work. But Pat McAfee's a Pittsburgh guy. He's gutsy, just like my Steelers. So a moral victory goes to Pat McAfee for just trying. And I'm going to give this match 2.5 stars. It's hard to give it more. It wasn't supposed to be great in-ring quality. It was just supposed to be a decimation, and I think that's what it was. Yeah. Thankfully, Pat McAfee's limbs are still intact.
Yep, and I'll give it a 2. Same thought process. Like, it was entertaining. Was it entertaining to watch one time? Yeah. Would I go back and watch it again? Nah. It was just a spectacle for the time, and you have to be there. You had to be there, and that's it.
You had to enjoy it.
Yep.
For what it was. And then we have the main event.
Yep.
This guy that hears voices in his head.
Voices in my
Randy,
head. They talk to me.
Talk
They
to me,
talk
talk to me.
to
Randall Keith
me.
took on John Felix Anthony Jr., John Felix Anthony Cena Jr. Say that 10
Yes.
times fast. And they had a match, and this was 1,000 times better than WrestleMania. This is what WrestleMania should have been. To me,
Yeah.
both of these guys just brought their A game. They ran it back. And now, did what I think was going to happen? No, but what happened I thought was better. See,
There were like 70 RKOs in this.
dude, the RKOs is what made this match so great. RK Randy Orton was handing out RKOs like Oprah. You get an
Yes.
RKO. You get an RKO. And
Everybody gets an RKO.
If Nick Aldis does not come out of retirement to fight this guy, he's a coward and a punk. How many times has Aldis been RKO'd by Randy Orton?
I don't know.
Though, if you have not seen Nick Aldis in the Indies or in TNA, you're missing out. The dude's a phenomenal wrestler. Okay, and this is his time. I don't know when they're saving it for, but it's got to happen before Orton retires. Orton and Aldis just one time. I promise you, Orton being the professional he is, Aldis being who he is going to be great. Anyway, back to where it is. The Hurricane took an RKO. Sean Davari took an RKO. Everybody gets an RKO. Even a referee got an RKO because he couldn't count to 3. Then John Cena's going to John Cena.
Yep.
The nut shot,
Belt
to the head.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, the referee makes it up. All of a sudden, 1, 2, 3, your winner and still WWE Undisputed Champion, Mr. John Cena. Respect. I give this match 4.5 stars, but it's because it was ridiculous, over the top, overbooked in the best possible way. There's 2 ways to overbook. You can overbook and make it look good, or overbook where it's ridiculous. And I think they overbooked and it was ridiculously good. Your thoughts, sir?
How much do you think Randy Orton will get fined for all those RKOs?
Randy Orton is going to have to take out a second mortgage on his house.
Man, okay. So we got like 5 more minutes left. Okay. I think that this was what, like you said, this was what WrestleMania should have been. This is the excitement that we should have had. And I would just, to put it plainly and shortly, I would definitely give it a 4.7. I can't give a perfect, but I give it a 4.7. It is what I wanted to see. It is all the shenanigans. It is the pulling out the belt to get hit in the face. It was all of that. And yeah, that's what I think.
But did you watch the press conference?
Yeah, the way that he put R-Truth through that table, man.
John Cena, R-Truth, you are R-Truth's childhood hero, even though R-Truth's older than you. Is what it is. The man doesn't age, so I could see it being that way. The man still looks 25.
You're who I want to be when I grow up.
But R-Truth versus John Cena is something I kind of want to see at the main event coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah, me too.
I just think it's going to be fun. And it doesn't have to be a good match. It could just be R-Truth being R-Truth versus John Cena. But I just can't believe Cena did that to my boy R-Truth.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on Backlash. I give this a solid A-. Is it the best show I've ever seen? No, but I think it was good enough quality that I think it deserves somewhere in the A tier. I don't think B does it justice. I think it was better than above average. What say you?
I would give it a B plus.
Solid.
Yeah. And it is worth a rewatch.
Oh yeah, I'll probably watch it today.
Yeah.
Next week, guys, we are going to be setting the table for Joe. Where do we set the table for, sir?
Setting the table for
All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about
Yep.
Double or Nothing. And we're going to watch it and we're going to give you our opinions on it.
Mm-hmm. We got to talk about all the matches too, the match cards.
Well, that's what I meant to say. We're going to give our predictions for the next AEW pay-per-view. Dude, we go on this, guys. No script. We just run it out of here and have the time of our lives, and I hope you guys are as well. Yeah. So before we close out, thank you guys for listening, watching, supporting. Make sure to hit that like button, follow, subscribe, all the things. Hit up all the social medias. We're on Instagram. We're on X now. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok.
Instagram.
and
All the things.
all the things. We're going to flash them up on the screen. Our
Spotify.
friend Spotify, thank you, sir. Our friend Travis is going to hook us up on there. And also, if you have fan mail, I would love to do a fan mailbag episode every now and then. You guys just shoot us an email, Wrassle Twins Pod at gmail.com. That's WRASSLEPOD. I mean,
Twins.
rat
TWINSPOD at
dot com
Gmail.
at gmail.com. So this is going in the bloopers, but you know what? Keep it in. Keep it in because you know what? It's been a week. But it's going to be on the screen. And if you follow us on Spotify, there is an email thing there. So just email us all your fan mail. I'd love to check it out. We got some other projects in the work. There's a movie on Tubi that we're going to be reviewing soon as the indie movie. So you guys should keep a lookout on that. We'll talk about it. It's about wrestling. And
check us out on Canada at the Movies. He's a guest there as well. He has a few things, so check him out. Check him out. He's all over the place. He's about to take over the whole internet, and I'm glad to be riding beside him.
Please check out Candid. That's our parent company. Travis, Joe, Mitch, the team. I do a little bit, not as much on there. But hey, guys, check us out. We love doing this, and we do it for you.
Yep.
And a little bit for us. But it's because of stuff we're passionate about. So thank you guys so much for your time. We love you very much. Peace.